As you can see, we've had some changes around here. Project Minded finally got the 2-post 8,000 pound lift installed by a company because calling in favors and getting a few people here between my schedule and theirs got delayed 3 or 4 times, and it just needed to get done so I can get on to the next thing. This particular Chevette CS of a 1984 vintage will not take up the load of my 8,000 pound lift. However, I'm really excited to get it on the road. So we got some prep work to do before we actually dig into the project, and a lot of new parts to throw at it for a lot of good reasons. We're going to take you to that. Our little mouse here is in good shape for what it is, but it is a 40-year-old car. Anytime I work on a new project, especially a vehicle, I do basically a once-around safety type inspection. Where I'm located, there's a government-mandated safety inspection before you can license and register something for the road, and I kind of do my version of one just to make sure that all the checks in the box are going to be done before it goes to the mechanic for certification. Now, with this one, I've done a once-over already, and some of the things I'm looking at, I'll tell you. Running condition, to start with, that's with any vehicle. Oil leaks, transmission fluid, anything like that, as well as just a general look around. There's not too much in the way of bad wiring here. A lot of older cars, you change enough hands enough times and things get bypassed and looped around and everything else. There's definitely some stuff to get tidied up, but it's a relatively simple car, so we should be able to get through it. Now, the interior is actually pretty good, really good for what it is. Although the reason why I'm calling it mouse is because these are mouse nests where the bulges are. So we're gonna have to take those down and out and clean them out. Should be hopefully not too gross. On the inside, all the lights work. It shifts, it runs, it drives. The wipers work, including the washer fluid. One thing that is not a safety item but an annoyance is the gas shock that opens the trunk is, well, doesn't have too much life left. It holds, but only just. So anyway, we're going to get that fixed up and changed out. Now, all the lights work. The defrost I haven't checked yet, but the wiring's really corroded. So anyway, we're going to replace that anyway when we drop the headliner. And the brakes, the brake light is on, and they don't feel good, so they're going to get done as well. Now we get to the so what. Well, the car's stance seems a little off. I don't know if it's tucking a corner there. I'm going to measure it all out here shortly. But at the same time, probably close to original springs, and they're 40 years old. So we're going to throw a lot of parts at this, not because it may not pass the government inspection, just because if you're going to do one, you may as well do the other. For example, changing the coils out in this thing, you got to split the ball joints, and you know you're going to have to separate the steering knuckle from the brakes. So rather than putting it back together with used stuff, we're going to put it all back together brand new. Make it a good, reliable, running, driving, turning key car like it should be. So on the floor here, there is basically everything plus to make that happen. I've got another package showing here hopefully in the next few days, but for the meantime, we'll just get to our attack plan and go from there. Back at the project board, trying to figure out how we're going to attack my little project that I'm calling Mouse. Now, the first thing is, being Mouse, interior. Now, with the interior, there's not too much going on. The carpets are good, the seats are good, all the rest, so that's just going to be a tidy up of the brackets. Now, the main one is the headliner. Once the headliner's dropped and all that stuff's cleaned up, we're also going to strip the door panels, the carpet, and everything else, because we're going to get to the next ticket item, and that is the floor is rotted out. There's no stamped steel reproduction parts available for the Chevettes, either in the 2-door or 4-door, so I'm going to have to fabricate them to fit. The hope is that I can just do some fist-sized patches where it is known to be bad, but once we sandblast that out top and bottom, we might find that there's a lot more to deal with than we suspect. But only way to find that out is to dig in. The other piece is the brakes need doing fully. No big deal there. We're going to do pads, rotors, drums, shoes, as well as new lines, and kind of see where that sets us up. There's calipers and wheel cylinders as well, and hopefully that'll basically, the only thing we're leaving is the master cylinder, and we're hopeful that the master cylinder is good because there's pressure in the pedal. We'll see. After the brakes, we're going to do steering and suspension, and that's basically doing everything. The steering is going to get some tie rod ends. Hopefully that'll be the extent of it. It feels pretty tight, so we'll see. The other piece with the suspension is we're going to put new springs, new shocks, and that's about the sum total. No, fucking. So we just got the carpet out of our little Chevette, and to no one's surprise, because, well, I knew of it coming in, got a little bit of a Flintstone car situation on the driver's side. There's a bunch of holes in some of the other spots. That's the rear and the rear footwells, and that just where water ingress was a problem. Structurally, tunnel's good. These cross braces are still solid. There's no sagging. So we're going to have to cut back and sandblast until we find some decent stuff. I'm also going to take the time to get the detail sandblaster to do, little touch-ups. That's the seatbelt restraint. So we're going to clean that up, clean the handbrake up, just while everything's apart. The other piece that we're going to do that I was going to delay a bit is pull the rad and get that record because, well, I think it's the heater core decided to start leaking, and we may as well drain it. It just means that I'm going to have to push this in and out rather than drive it in and out. But it's part of the way things go with these things. So now we're going to remove the rad. With this leaking already, the better plan is to get the rad out to get rebuilt while I'm doing that. So I don't know if this will show up very well on camera here, but all those fins are gone. Now, while the rad itself isn't leaking, without the fins to dissipate the heat, it's just not going to do a very good job. So we're going to pull the rad, we're going to get it record, and then when it goes back in, I've got all new hoses, upper, lower. We're going to replace the heater core as well, which I'm pretty sure that's where it's leaking. The thermostat, I'm not sure if it works or not, but we'll put a new one in there just because, well, if you're doing one, you may as well do everything. And give it a general cleanup. So here, out comes the rad, hopefully. And while that's dribbling down to the last bit, we're just going to remove the two fasteners at the top here. And with these two out, this is just a little bushing fit. Should be able to lift out once we disconnect the hoses. So that'll be the next step. Okay. Shit. Ah. Well, that's really annoying. That was all me just breaking it because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's super frustrating. Well, I might be able to epoxy that together to be worth a damn, but I doubt it. So, when that gets, oh wow, that might be worse than I thought. Yeah, that's really done. So anyway, when that goes back in, yeah, hopefully that just friction fits okay. Son of a bitch. Thanks for